Well, I'm at the heart of the University of Victoria in Sydney. But along with speaking to some of the students here, I have a generation of Australians who have made a success story. Starting with Mr. Bhujwani here, Murli Bhujwani ji, and his 3 sons. Sir, you've got a story which everybody is envious about. The first thing I was told when I came to Sydney is that if there's one place you need to see is Mr. Bhujwani's house. But मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूँ, and I want you to tell us that it all started with literally nothing, isn't it, back in the 80s? आप कब आए थे? When did you first come here?
Came here in 79 actually.
79,
Yes.
wow. Okay.
But didn't like it.
Huh.
Was homesick because you couldn't see many Indians here, or it was like very lonely, isolation, lonely, and then you just on your own. तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आया. Can you use Hindi?
Yeah, बिल्कुल.
हाँ, तो ज़्यादा कुछ समझ में नहीं आया. गोरे गोरे लोग and all that, not used to that. No food. Indian restaurant only one. Fijian Indian restaurant selling very totally different kind of food. So went back. Didn't like it. So that's when I got my visa during Fraser's time. So Fraser was the prime minister at that time. McKellar was the immigration minister.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Long time, yes. So then, since I had the permanent visa, so I had to come. I felt that I should be coming here. Don't lose this visa, which is so difficult to get. So I kept coming here every year, but then never liked it. So somehow got settled in 83. So formed my company with almost nothing.
So you formed a company, turned entrepreneur back in 83 with almost nothing.
Yes.
And today everybody says the buzzword is you own half of Sydney.
That's not true. Nobody can own Sydney. But I must say, I met a guy from South Africa not long, about 20 years ago. And one thing he told me, and which is stuck with me, and which I will tell anybody, there is no place like Sydney.
There is
No place in the world.
no place like Sydney.
No. It's such a beautiful city. It's such a lovely country. It gives equal opportunity to everyone, which our Prime Minister wants to do. Give equal opportunity to everyone. I'm a fan of Modi. So I wouldn't speak more in favor of him, but he is my idol. So more or less same wavelength. So what I'm saying is, whoever comes here, whoever immigrates here or comes here, it's a land of opportunities, like they used to say about USA. So Australia is even better. People are so nice here, and they're so accommodating. You will be surprised.
You have seen multiple prime ministers, not just in Australia, but also in India, and the engagements. What makes Prime Minister Narendra Modi tick or click with the Indian diaspora? Why is he so popular across the world? I'm sure you would have made an observation, so I want to understand. 9 years in power, 30th of May, it will be 9 years for him in power. But even President Biden said, I want your autograph because the kind of crowds that you draw. So let me ask you that.
Our Prime Minister, my Prime Minister is Anthony Albanese, but as Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, he is an amazing person. Amazing. So his vision is my vision. So more or less he's doing what I would do. So I can relate to that. And I'm totally in favor of that. Because he's not for you, me, or him, He's for everyone. So whoever is 140 crore, उनको संभालना. India is such a diverse country. इसमें it's like a zoo.
Correct.
So शेर भी है, चीता भी है, बड़ा भालू भी है, बेचारी हिरन भी है, जो कुछ भी नहीं करता, खरगोश भी है. तो इतने सारे जानवर हैं, अलग-अलग, सॉरी टू से जानवर, मतलब अलग-अलग लोग हैं उधर. आप कहीं भी चले जाओ. It's like whole Europe, whole world is in India.
Correct.
To control that country is not easy. It's just not easy at all. And to put them together and trying to bring them together and work towards the development of the country and lift up the lifestyle is what Mr. Modi is doing is salutable, is amazing. It's just, sorry to say, certain people, certain sects do not visualize that and don't understand that. तो ये दुख की बात है. तो मुझे बहुत दुख होता है जब इतना वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं. They're trying, मोदी जी इतना ट्राई कर रहे हैं सबको जोड़ने की. वो अलग होने की तो बात करते ही नहीं है.
बिल्कुल.
तो वो जोड़ रहे हैं लोगों को. कुछ लोग नहीं समझते और उधर भटक रहे हैं. तो दुख की बात. मुझे दुख होता है.
So, yeah, very pragmatic, very honest, and nice to see that since 1983 he's in Australia, but Hindi nahi choti inse. Now, there is this term ABCDs, that is American-born confused desis, but here are three of them, Australian-born, very confident desis. So I'm going to ask the three of you, Girish. Your dad seems to have kept you right there, on the rails, on the racks, absolutely. How's it been working with your dad and also taking on the mantle?
Yeah, it's been obviously very, very easy. No, I'm just kidding. It's been very hard. I've been 20 years at it, and to instill the values that he has instilled into all of us hasn't been as easy because he leads by example. He's been a great father to us. But living in Australia, it's also a different generation. So we had to bridge the gap between the old school Indian values that he's brought to us and also the generation that we are now in, who are brought up as. And but he's been amazing as a father. He sent us to the best schools. But I was only Indian in that school. So it was tough. Yeah. Growing up, I was very early on as the only Indian, and I was always felt that it was a bit tougher to express my who I was, because that's what my parents taught me. But as my father said, I would say that Australia's come a long way in the sense that it's so diverse and it's so multicultural that we've all become now one. And to succeed in business hasn't been that difficult with the values that we've instilled into us, because that's what Australia has offered us. Yeah.
You guys are in trade, import and export. So let me ask you, how has the dynamics changed with respect to trade with India? Do you guys do business with India much?
Yeah, so we do trade with India. We buy a lot from other countries as well, like China and so on. So a lot of our business has been China, but we definitely look forward to the manufacturing element improve in India, and then we can shift our buying and support India even more, especially in manufacturing.
Manufacturing as an aspect was you felt has been a little bit of a block with India?
Yeah, I think China is obviously well ahead of the curve when it comes to manufacturing and producing, and there is some room for growth to shift the world buying from China and shift that to India, definitely, and that's an area for growth for both Australia to buy more from India, an area of growth for India to come up.
If I was a young guy or entrepreneur wanting to do business and looking for business opportunities with Australia based in India, what should be the area of focus and what should we be looking at?
I would say definitely manufacturing. If Australia and India can bridge the gap with manufacturing, India is the world's largest democracy, with the world's largest young people coming through. So, with the Indian diaspora and the Australian young generation coming through, we're really looking forward to, bridging that gap in how we can work together. We're really excited to do so as well, being Indians or Australian-born Indians, and we're confident about it. We're excited about it.
You seem to be a cricket fan yourself.
I'll tell you a story. My dad goes to India. He'll go to all the stores there, take out photos. Why are we bringing this to Australia? Why are we bringing this to Australia? So we were the first ones to launch Close Up, made in India toothpaste. We bought 5 containers, 6 containers, worked with Unilever here. Didn't work, but it's okay. Every product that he wants to see here is from India. So our company is fully in line. We just need to bridge the gap a bit more. Yeah.
Bridge the gap. Final question, sir.
Yes.
You want a lot of Indian goods in Australia.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So what is the one thing that India needs to do? इन्होंने तो कहा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बढ़ाओ, उसके अलावा कोई और एक चीज़ है जो करने की ज़रूरत है that Indian goods are flooded in the Australian market?
I would request all the Indian manufacturers to deal or behave like Chinese, because they're quite reliable. They're very reliable. We deal with Chinese companies, but they're very reliable. I must say that they're reliable. What you order is what you get.
Yeah.
So this is something which is missing when you deal with Indian companies. So they don't think of long term. काटो इसको, खत्म करो. हाँ, तो no, मुर्गी है, अंडा देगी, रोज देगी. तो फिर that thought, if they deal and they clear, I'm sure the younger generation will do that. But जो पुराने स्कूल के हैं वो बोलते हैं चलो जो ग्राहक मुर्गा मिला है इसको काट दो. तो yeah, that is wrong thinking, and never lose on quality. Always stick to the quality and abide. I mean, use that sense कि आगे धंधा करना है, business बढ़ाना है. तो whatever India is producing is different to what I saw. We import just one item, agarbattis. We import like every month one container of agarbattis.
Wow, that's a lot of
That's at 40 footer, and that is lot of agarbattis. So we try to introduce those agarbattis not only with Indian homes or something, to the Australian people. But they use it as air fresheners or room fresheners or meditation. They use for different purpose. They don't pray with that. So, of course, I do all the hot pots and all that from Indian companies. And other imports we do, like Unilever products and P&G products and all that. So my request will be to deal honestly. And yeah. And
See, increase the trust factor. बड़े पते की बात की, and this is something which has been a common insight. Dependability, trustworthiness, and reliability. Do it for the long term. Don't do it with the mentality of let me just make the most right now and then get out of it. This shoot and scoot should not be the attitude of Indian businessmen or people who want to do business. That's something perhaps is a common thread of insight that's coming from somebody like Mr. Murli Bhujwani. It's a very important insight.